The world is not built on fairness, and the faster you accept that reality, the faster you stop being crushed by it. At this very moment, while you're listening to this, someone with less intelligence than you commands more authority. Someone less capable holds more influence. Someone with fewer qualifications lives the life you imagined for yourself, not because they're better, but because they understand how people actually work. You were trained to follow rules that powerful people abandoned centuries ago. You were taught to be agreeable, while others learned to be tactical. You were encouraged to wait patiently for recognition, while others seized it without permission. The system is rigged, but not the way you've been told. It's rigged against those who cling to moral fantasies. It's rigged against people who believe effort alone earns respect. It's rigged against those who assume good intentions outweigh psychological leverage. 5 centuries ago, Niccolò Machiavelli exposed the machinery behind power and influence. He uncovered why decency often loses and why calculated individuals dominate. What he revealed wasn't cruelty, it was clarity. Today, I'm going to walk you through 8 dark psychological principles that can shift you from being overlooked to being unignorable, from being dismissed to being quietly feared, from invisible to psychologically untouchable. But understand this first. Once you grasp how human behavior truly functions, there's no returning to innocence. Once you see the structure beneath social interactions, you lose the excuse of victimhood forever. There was a moment in my own life when this truth became unavoidable. I used to be the person who had answers, insights, and integrity, yet no one paid attention. I worked harder than most. I thought deeper than many. And still, I was ignored. I watched incompetent but confident people rise past me. I saw manipulative personalities accumulate power while honest individuals struggled to survive. I noticed how charming predators gathered followers, while sincere people stood alone. That's when the illusion collapsed. The world does not reward intelligence. It rewards presence. It does not honor kindness. It submits to strength. It does not evaluate character. It responds to psychological dominance. That realization shattered my naive worldview, but it also freed me. Because once you understand the rules, you can stop losing by them. Machiavelli lived in a time of betrayal, political maneuvering, and silent warfare. He observed empires collapse, not from lack of morality, but from lack of psychological insight. His lesson was simple and brutal. Those who understand human nature control those who don't. His work wasn't meant for museums. It was meant as a manual for survival, influence, and self-preservation. Being ruthless does not mean being cruel. It means being precise. It means recognizing that while you're acting on ideals, others are operating on incentives. While you're hoping for fairness, they're engineering outcomes. You're playing checkers with honesty. They're playing chess with intention. Before we go further, I want you to make a declaration. Write this in the comments. I refuse to be psychologically dominated. This isn't engagement bait. It's a commitment. Everything that follows demands a shift. From passive thinking to strategic awareness. From prey mindset to predator clarity. If you're ready to develop dangerous confidence, we begin now. Rule 1. Fairness is a psychological snare. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Fairness is a comforting story designed to keep people compliant. Every time you wait for justice, someone else takes advantage. Every time you honor invisible rules, someone else breaks them to win. Every time you expect balance, manipulators exploit your predictability. You were taught that fairness equals virtue. In reality, it often equals vulnerability. Look at your own experiences. How often have you respected someone who dismissed you? How many times have you extended help that was never returned? How often have you waited your turn while others stepped ahead without hesitation? This isn't bad luck, it's conditioning. Machiavelli wrote that men should either be rewarded fully or crushed completely, because minor injuries invite revenge, while total dominance ends resistance. He wasn't talking about violence. He was describing psychological positioning. Slight challenges provoke retaliation. Clear superiority creates acceptance. Most people fail because they hesitate. They offer timid resistance to aggressive personalities. They enforce weak boundaries with strong egos. They try to reason with people driven entirely by self-interest. The result is disastrous. You appear soft, yet you still create adversaries, people who now see you as conquerable. True psychological dominance works differently. When someone disrespects you, you don't argue, you don't justify. You demonstrate, through consequence, that disrespect carries a cost. You don't plead for better treatment. You structure interactions so that treating you poorly damages their interests. Stop offering fairness to those who don't value it. Start applying strategy to those who only respect power. Rule 2. Ruthlessness is emotional control. Most people misunderstand ruthlessness. They imagine rage, aggression, or cruelty. That's weakness. Real ruthlessness is restraint. It's emotional discipline taken to its highest level. Ruthless individuals don't explode, they calculate. They don't react, they position. They don't act from wounded pride, they act from advantage. This is why emotionally volatile people never hold influence. They're readable, they're manipulable. Anyone who understands their triggers can steer them effortlessly. Every emotional outburst hands power to someone else. Psychologically dominant individuals treat emotions as signals, not commands. They acknowledge anger, frustration, humiliation, but they don't obey them. They pause, assess, and choose the response that serves them best. Imagine someone attempts to embarrass you publicly or undermine your credibility. The emotionally unstable person reacts immediately. They defend themselves. They argue. They explain. They try to prove they're right. And in doing so, they surrender control. Every emotional reaction confirms the attacker's influence. Every justification signals vulnerability. The more you scramble to protect your image, the more power you hand to the one testing you. The disciplined strategist moves differently. They register the insult. They feel the emotional surge. Then they pause and ask a single question. What response strengthens my position and weakens theirs? Sometimes the correct move is silence, because ignoring an attack communicates that the attacker is irrelevant. Sometimes it's a brief, clinical correction that exposes the other person's incompetence without raising your voice. Other times, it's allowing the moment to pass while your composure silently humiliates them. The defining trait is this: the response is selected, not impulsive. Machiavelli understood this dynamic with brutal clarity. When force must be applied, it should be decisive and contained, never stretched into prolonged conflict. The same applies psychologically. If you choose to respond, end the confrontation in a single move. Do not spiral into drama. Do not engage in emotional ping-pong. One clean action, one final message. Conflict resolved in your favor. Think about the people who seem unshakable. Do they argue loudly? Do they lose control in public? Do they allow others to dictate their emotional state? Never. They protect their inner territory fiercely. They choose when and if they engage. Their calm is not weakness, it's dominance. This emotional sovereignty becomes a silent warning to others. When people realize they cannot provoke you, manipulate you, or throw you off balance, their behavior changes. They become careful. They become respectful. Emotional control is not passive. It is a weapon. Master your reactions. Let others reveal themselves through impulsiveness while you move with precision. Rule 3. Psychological authority outweighs being likable. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They confuse being liked with being valued. Likability invites familiarity. Familiarity invites disrespect. When people see you as pleasant, they assume you'll tolerate boundary violations. When they see you as strong, they calculate their behavior carefully. Those who prioritize being liked are safe, predictable, easily exploited. Those who command psychological authority are different. They are treated with caution. Their reactions are not assumed. Their boundaries are not tested casually. Look around your environment. Who carries more influence? The agreeable person or the one whose presence alters the room? Who do people consult before making decisions? The one who nods along or the one whose opinion carries weight? Machiavelli was blunt. When forced to choose, fear is more reliable than affection. This isn't about cruelty. It's about consequence. It's about becoming someone others understand they cannot dismiss without cost. Here's how this distinction plays out in real life. People pleasers agree to things they resent because they fear disapproval. Dominant individuals decline without apology. People pleasers tolerate disrespect and hope it fades. Dominant individuals confront it swiftly. People pleasers chase inclusion. Dominant individuals decide where their presence is worth investing. People pleasers explain themselves endlessly. Dominant individuals act and let others adjust. The internal shift is powerful. You stop asking, "Will this make me accepted?" and start asking, "Does this strengthen my position?" You stop cushioning others' discomfort at your own expense. You stop seeking approval and become the one whose approval matters. This is not about intimidation. It's about standards. It's about becoming someone whose respect must be earned, not freely given to anyone who demands it. Rule 4. Decisiveness creates psychological superiority. Most people weaken their influence through repetition. They warn repeatedly. They complain endlessly. They threaten consequences they never deliver. Over time, this conditions others to ignore them completely. Their words lose weight. Their presence loses authority. Psychologically dominant individuals do the opposite. They speak less, but when they act, the impact is undeniable. Their interventions are rare, but unforgettable. Machiavelli observed that when power is exercised, it must be done in a way that discourages retaliation. Psychologically, this means that when you draw a line, you enforce it fully, not halfway, not emotionally, completely. Consider someone who repeatedly disrespects you, interrupting, mocking, undermining. The weak response is endless frustration, venting to others and hoping it stops. That only teaches them that you are affected but powerless. The dominant response is strategic restraint followed by a single decisive action, public exposure, social exclusion. A move that shifts the balance instantly. The strength of the response isn't measured against one incident, it's calibrated against the pattern. And that's what makes it effective. Others witness the consequence. They learn the rule without you ever having to repeat it. This applies everywhere. Instead of arguing for your value, you demonstrate it once. Instead of being endlessly available, you remove access at a critical moment. Instead of repeating your position, you act in a way that makes resistance irrelevant. Speak less. Act harder. Let your actions educate others. Rule 5. Perception is the lever of reality. This is the most advanced level of psychological control. What people believe about you shapes how they treat you, regardless of the truth. Most individuals focus entirely on internal virtue and assume recognition will follow naturally. It won't. Human beings make rapid judgments based on surface cues, not deep investigation. If you don't shape your image, someone else will, and rarely in your favor. Machiavelli knew this. Most people encounter only your appearance, not your essence. Your reputation becomes your currency. Your perceived competence becomes your actual influence. Those who understand this manage perception deliberately. They don't fabricate an identity. They highlight the traits that serve them. They guide the narrative instead of allowing rumors, assumptions, or silence to define them. Look at two people who achieve the same result. One documents it, frames it, and allows others to witness competence. The other stays silent, trusting merit alone. The first receives opportunity. The second remains invisible. Perception management happens everywhere. Your posture speaks before your words. Your eye contact sets hierarchy. Your voice tone signals authority. Walk into a space with certainty, and people unconsciously categorize you as significant. This is not deception. It is psychological literacy. When your body collapses inward, your eyes avoid contact, and your voice sounds unsure, people don't analyze you. They categorize you instantly. Human psychology is ruthless in this way. Others treat you based on the image you consistently project, not on your hidden potential. You teach people how to see you long before they decide how to treat you. Perception is not passive, it is trained. Here is how perception shaping works in real life. You decide which victories are visible and which struggles remain private. You don't broadcast failure. You contextualize it after it has been transformed into progress. You place yourself in proximity to high-status people, environments, and pursuits, not to beg for approval, but to allow association to elevate perception naturally. You avoid oversharing. Mystery forces people to speculate, and speculation almost always favors confidence over confession. You project certainty even when clarity hasn't fully arrived, not because you're fearless, but because hesitation is contagious, and so is conviction. People borrow belief from those who appear to possess it in surplus. Your reputation is not decoration. It is leverage. Guard it with the same intensity you guard your resources. Build it deliberately. Deploy it strategically. Rule 6. Control the narrative or be consumed by it. This is where influence becomes warfare. Power is not only about what happens, it's about how what happens is remembered. Every event can be interpreted in multiple ways. The same decision can be framed as leadership or ego, discipline or cruelty, confidence or arrogance. Meaning is not fixed. It is assigned, and the one who assigns meaning controls the outcome. Most people obsess over their actions while ignoring the story forming around those actions. That's a fatal error. In social psychology, perception outpaces fact. The version of events that spreads first and sounds most coherent becomes truth for the majority. History proves this relentlessly. The one who speaks first, frames strongest, and simplifies most persuasively usually wins public judgment, regardless of accuracy. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. People do not investigate deeply. They accept the explanation that feels complete and authoritative. Whoever provides that explanation shapes belief. This means you must frame everything. When you succeed, you define why it happened: discipline, strategy, foresight. When you stumble, you define what it meant: learning, recalibration, refinement. When attacked, you do not merely defend, you reposition the attack as proof of insecurity, envy, or irrelevance. Consider a real scenario. You remove a draining person from your life. Left unchecked, they may label you selfish, cold, disloyal. If you stay silent, that version spreads. But if you frame the decision correctly, I set boundaries with someone who repeatedly violated mutual respect, the perception flips. You're no longer heartless, you're self-governing. Same action, completely different judgment. Advanced narrative control means anticipating interpretation before it hardens. You don't wait to be misunderstood, you preempt misunderstanding. Always ask not only what am I doing, but what story will others tell about this if I don't intervene? Shape the story early. Once perception crystallizes, changing it costs 10 times more effort. Rule 7. Systems create authority without emotion. The highest level of influence is impersonal. Emotion-based power is fragile. Threats, anger, persuasion, all of it depends on mood, energy, and reaction. Systems don't. Systems operate regardless of how you feel. This is mastery. When your authority depends on emotional reactions, others can provoke you, negotiate with you, or exhaust you. When your authority is embedded in structure, behavior triggers consequences automatically. Machiavelli advised rulers to rely on what they could control, not on the whims of others. Psychological systems do exactly that. Instead of arguing with those who disrespect your time, you reduce availability. Instead of confronting those who exploit your generosity, you redirect effort elsewhere. Instead of demanding better treatment, you quietly ensure that respect leads to access and disrespect leads to exclusion. Here's a concrete example. You're the organizer in your social group. Some people constantly cancel or arrive late. The reactive approach is frustration, lectures, or guilt. The authoritative approach is silent adjustment. You plan only with those who confirm and show up. Chronic offenders stop receiving invitations, not as punishment, but as policy. No announcement, no confrontation, just consequence. People can argue with emotions. They cannot argue with systems. Over time, behavior shifts, not because you demanded it, but because access depends on it. That's psychological authority. And once established, it sustains itself. Rule 8. Silent dominance is the final form of power. Here is the paradox most never grasp. Those who talk the most about strength rarely possess it. Those who constantly declare dominance are compensating. Real power does not announce itself. It becomes assumed. The most dangerous individuals in any environment are often the quietest. They observe while others perform. They calculate while others react. They position while others posture. Think about the people who truly command respect. Do they boast? Do they threaten? Do they explain themselves excessively? Never. Their influence is implicit. Their presence alters behavior without instruction. Their power is not stated. It is felt. They don't remind others of consequences. Others already know. Machiavelli captured this perfectly. Authority that must be constantly asserted is already weakening. The ruler who explains himself too often invites challenge. The one who remains composed invites compliance. Silence, when backed by structure, reputation, and consistency, becomes dominance. When people adjust their tone around you without realizing why, when they hesitate before crossing you, when your absence is noticed more than others' presence, you've reached the threshold. That is psychological command. Not loud, not reactive, not theatrical, controlled, predictable, unavoidable. And at that point, you no longer chase influence. Influence organizes itself around you. Power cannot survive on a single trait. Raw force without intelligence walks straight into traps. Cleverness without strength becomes prey the moment pressure appears. Machiavelli understood this duality perfectly. He warned that survival demands both perception and intimidation. You must be perceptive enough to see danger forming, and formidable enough that danger thinks twice before approaching. The true advantage lies not in choosing one, but in shifting between them without revealing which you're using. When done correctly, your competitors never see your maneuver until their options vanish. Your allies don't realize how carefully you've arranged the board until they're already benefiting from the position you created. And those working against you don't recognize the source of their decline until their influence has quietly collapsed. This is what silent dominance actually looks like. You build leverage without announcing ambition. You place yourself advantageously without advertising intent. You collect information while offering almost nothing in return. You form alliances that advance your interests without drawing attention to the connection. You weaken opposition indirectly, allowing them to believe their losses are coincidence or self-inflicted. This is not deception for entertainment. It is discretion as a weapon. Strategic visibility invites resistance. strategic restraint invites inevitability. When people feel your influence without understanding its origin, your power appears natural rather than engineered, and natural power is rarely challenged. Let others posture, let others speak, let others expose their hunger. You move quietly, and let outcomes speak for you. Build your psychological empire in silence. Results echo louder than declarations. Now understand the final reality, the one that determines whether you rise or remain controlled. If you do not learn how influence truly works, someone who has mastered it will use it on you. This is not theory. It is active psychological combat happening daily in workplaces, relationships, social hierarchies, and power structures. While you've been absorbing these principles, others have already been applying them to those who still believe fairness protects them. Manipulators thrive on the predictability of the naive. Strategists rise above those who mistake good intentions for leverage. The decision is harsh, but it is simple. Either you become fluent in psychological influence, or you remain subject to those who are. You were trained to believe that learning these dynamics makes you dangerous or immoral. That belief serves only one group, those already using them. They depend on your hesitation. They profit from your discomfort. They benefit from your refusal to see the game as it is. Every day you delay is another day someone more calculated is building the authority, respect, and control you want. Every day you choose politeness over strategic strength is another day you hand advantage to those who see kindness as an exploitable weakness. The world does not need more well-intentioned men who remain invisible. It rewards those who understand reality and move accordingly. If something in you has changed, if you're done being psychologically outmaneuvered, then act, not emotionally, decisively. Like this video. Share it with someone who still believes niceness is enough. Commit to learning what others refuse to acknowledge. Remember the declaration you made. You refuse to be psychologically dominated. Now make that refusal real. Because while you're deciding whether to become formidable, others are already deciding how to use you. Choose quickly. Power does not wait.